Cheers everyone, it's Abby Pon, and I'm a photographer and guide based in Kyoto. Here in Japan, the cherry blossoms are falling, the cicadas have begun screaming outside my window, and it's about to get really hot. Summer is coming, and if you're interested in taking a trip here during summer, you're in luck, because it's actually a really nice time to visit. Today, let's talk about everything you should know before coming to Japan in summer. We'll start with what to prepare, all the great things to do here, unique aspects of Japanese culture during summer, and then finally, how to stay comfortable in the busyness and the heat. So I learned a lot during last summer in Japan, which was my first full summer here. And I really want to make sure that everyone comes more prepared than I was. So section 1 is preparing for your trip. There's a few things I think you should know about before you get to Japan during summer so you can make plans. Summer in Japan is typically considered to be June, July, and August. First, let's discuss weather, followed by how busy summer here can be. So starting with the weather. Of course, Japan is really big, and the weather will be different depending on where you are and when. But since most people will probably be around Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, I'm going to be basing most of this off of those areas. June in Japan is rainy season, which is called suyu. I checked some data and found that although June doesn't always have the most number of rainy days, that's actually distributed fairly equally amongst the months in most cities. It does rank near the top or at the top for average amount of rain. It's also pretty humid in June, with the humidity around 70% on average in these three cities. Summer in Japan is warm and humid, and the humidity, at least in my opinion, makes it feel much hotter than it might actually be. The temperatures typically spike in August. However, summer is also the time for typhoons and monsoons, so it can be stormy and unpleasant sometimes too. However, even though I'm starting off with this, I don't want you to think that summer is a bad time to visit. Summer can be very warm and pleasant as well, and the greenery around the country is beautiful. But I do recommend packing appropriately. Pack comfortable and breathable clothing, and enough in case you need to change throughout the day, since you'll probably be walking around outside much more than you usually would at home. Uniqlo in Japan also sells fabulous breathable clothes and underclothes, so you can also get some good stuff here. So if you have a good raincoat at home, you're welcome to bring it, but most people will use an umbrella due to how stuffy it is outside. And yeah, it's kind of gross outside a lot of the time. You can easily buy umbrellas here for just a few hundred yen, or you can borrow them from a hotel if you're staying at one. I also want to note that typically Japanese people don't wear crop tops and short shorts. Not only do they try to protect their skin from the sun, I think they also find that it can keep you cooler to wear like a really light layer on top so the sun doesn't directly hit you. Personally, I kind of meet this in the middle. I like to wear shorts and loose linen pants, a breathable top, and sometimes a UV jacket on really bright, hot days. Another thing to pack if you use it is deodorant, which most Japanese people do not wear. People say that Japanese people don't smell, and while that's definitely not always true, I find that even on the hottest days, most will smell like nothing. The reason for this is likely a combination of diet and having a specific genotype of the ABCC11 gene, which is seen in around 80 to 95% of Eastern Asians. But it's extremely rare, not more than 3% among those of European and African descent. So this genotype determines whether or not your sweat is more smelly, and it also determines whether your earwax is sticky type or dry type. So fun fact, now you know. Point being, you will be outside a lot, so just take care of your BO to the best of your ability. I'll give you more tips on how to do this and just keeping cool in general in section 4 of the video. Next, let's talk about how busy Japan is. Over the past decade, the amount of foreign tourists visiting has increased every year, until being interrupted by COVID-19. Since the country has reopened, however, it seems that we are back on track to continue this growth, as the number of travelers in January 2024 was at the same level as that of January 2019. Certain times of the year also seem to be more busy than others. However, summer is also a busy time due to domestic travel. Japanese kids have their summer break from late July until the end of August. Japanese college students have a break from the start of August until the end of September. Obon is also August 13th through 16th, which some Japanese companies allow time off for. Obon is a holiday dedicated to remembering those who have passed away. It has evolved into a holiday during which Japanese people visit the graves of their ancestors, and the spirits of those ancestors are supposed to visit the household altars. But of course, it also usually involves festivals and lots of dancing. All this to say, although it seems that cherry blossom season and the autumn leaf season may be busier with foreign tourists, summer, particularly August, is busy with Japanese people. However, I don't think you need to worry too much about it. The biggest thing that might be an issue is traffic. Usually during festival season, a lot of streets will be closed off, so taking buses or taxis can be much harder. Plan to take trains or just otherwise navigate around traffic if you know there's going to be a big festival when you visit a city. So, summer in Japan is usually hot and humid and is a relatively busy time of the year. However, there's so much fun stuff to do in summer here. Let's move on to section 2. What to do in Japan during summer. In this section, I'll talk about some of the many things you can do, such as going to festivals, seeing fireworks, seeing seasonal flowers, hiking Mount Fuji, and finally, just other special summer events. So, starting off with Japanese festivals, which are called matsuri in Japanese, are a great thing to see, especially during July and August. My personal first exposure to matsuri was in anime and video games, and it always looked like so much fun. The first big festival I went to in Japan was Gion Matsuri in Kyoto, which I'll talk about later. Festivals here are super fun, although obviously the major ones are extremely busy. But most festivals feature some kind of unique float, street food, games, and sometimes dancing and fireworks. It's also common practice to wear yukata to festivals. Yukata are the summer version of kimonos, and they're much thinner and cooler. In case you are here and want to visit a festival, let me tell you about some of the most famous ones. The first big festival holiday is Tanabata, which typically takes place around July 7th or August 7th. Tanabata is the Star Festival, which goes back to a Chinese story that the lovers Orihime and Hikoboshi, represented by the stars Vega and Altair, are only allowed to meet one day a year, on the 7th day of the 7th lunar month. Because of historic calendar differences, you have the chance to enjoy these festivities in either July or August. The most famous Tanabata festivals are in Sendai, northern Japan, in early August, and Hiratsuka near Yokohama on July 5th to 7th. Other smaller festivals can be found throughout Japan here. Next, let's discuss some places to enjoy Obon during August. First, the Daimonji Festival in Kyoto, where 200-meter-long kanji characters are created with bonfires on the mountainsides and then set on fire. Super cool. You can see them from the city, so it's a really unique experience to enjoy. Next is Asakusa in Tokyo. You can see Toronagashi, which is a tradition in which illuminated lanterns are set afloat down the river to guide spirits to the other side. And yes, it's definitely something that feels like it's out of a Studio Ghibli movie. Last is Tokushima's Awa Odori, a festival where dancers will parade down the street. Many temples throughout the country will be having Obon festivals all throughout August, and it's really worth trying to drop by one of them. And if you don't know where to look, just listen for the drumming. I found a lot of festivals just by listening for drumming and for people and just general fun. A few other festivals I feel are worth mentioning are Gion Matsuri. So this is often considered the most famous festival in the country, and it dates back to the 9th century. The festival is renowned for its grand parade of floats known as Yamaboko Junko. I said this is the first festival I went to in Japan. And let me tell you, it was literally insane. There were so many people. So Gion Matsuri, which is a festival for Yasaka Shrine, has several different events that take place over the whole month of July. However, the most famous part is the procession of the floats, which takes place on 2 different days, typically the 17th and the 24th. The night before the procession is called Yoyama, and it's a big party throughout the city. Most of the streets will be closed off during these times, and instead of cars, there will be endless rows of festival stalls with food and games. Next is Tenjin Matsuri, which is probably Osaka's biggest summer festival. On July 24th and 25th, celebrating Sugawara Michizane, the deity of scholarship, the festival features processions of traditional costumes, gilded portable shrines, and performances. The festivities reach their peak with a river procession of lit boats and a firework display over the Okawa River. And before you ask, yes, Osaka will be totally crazy during this festival because it's super cool. All right, moving on from festivals, let's quickly discuss fireworks. Summer is fireworks season, and there's countless great places to enjoy them throughout Japan. I recommend one of the most popular, which is the Sumida River Fireworks Show, July 27th. This is a very popular and historic display along Sumida River in Tokyo and is best viewed from parks or while dining in Asakusa. Try booking a restaurant with outdoor seating in advance or arriving to the park very early to grab a seat. But it's also a fabulous time to just enjoy walking around Asakusa, trying street food, and playing at game stalls. I really love the energy of festivals. All right, next, summer is a great time to see seasonal flowers. If you miss the cherry blossoms, don't worry, because the summer flowers are also beautiful. Some of the best ones in my opinion include the hydrangeas, which bloom in June and July, the sunflowers in late July and early August, and the spider lilies, which bloom at the beginning of September, which we're considering right now to be summer. Although these flowers will be pretty easy to find, I'm going to tell you some of the best spots. So for hydrangeas, I recommend taking the Hakone Tozan Railway from Hakone Yumoto to Goda for a unique view of these flowers. And if you reserve a special evening ticket, you can also enjoy the flowers lit up. Yoshimine Temple in Kyoto and Meigetsuin Temple in Kamakura are other great places to enjoy them. For sunflowers, you're going to want to visit Hokuryu Sunflower Village in Hokkaido, Kiyose Sunflower Festival in Tokyo, and Yamanakako Hana no Miyako Park, wow, at the foot of Mount Fuji in Yamanashi. So last, for spider lilies, Kinchakuda Manjushage Park in Saitama and Katsuragi Hitokoto Nushi Shrine in Nara are 2 of the best places. Next, for those interested in hiking up Mount Fuji, summer is the best time. Mount Fuji's official climbing season runs from early July to mid-September, with the Yoshida Trail open from July 1st and other main trails open from July 10th. The peak climbing period is during the school vacations from July 20th to late August, with especially high traffic around mid-August's Obon week. To avoid large crowds, I recommend trying to climb on a weekday in early July, despite that time having slightly more unstable weather. Also, due to the crowds, a new daily limit of 4,000 hikers and an extra 2,000 yen entry fee have been introduced on the Yoshida Trail. Finally, let's talk about a few more of the awesome things you can do during summer in Japan. First is, of course, to visit a beach. I recommend Kanagawa's Shonan Beach because on a clear day, you can see Mount Fuji from the beach. Otherwise, there's countless amazing beaches around the country, and you don't have to go all the way to Okinawa to enjoy a nice spot in the sand. Next is to attend Summer Sonic, which is a huge music festival held in both Osaka and Chiba at the same time on August 17th and 18th. This festival is popular for featuring many foreign artists, and the lineup for the year includes... Next, definitely don't miss wind chimes. You will see these everywhere in the summer, and they're so cute. Next, attend Koshien or any other baseball match. I made a video about this last year, but Summer Koshien is a super exciting high school baseball tournament that takes place in August. The energy is so fabulous, I really recommend it. And next, if you're in Tokyo on August 11th and 12th, check out Komike, which is an expo showcasing self-published manga. Lots of people also attend and cosplay, and it's really fun. Finally, I recommend checking out all the cool beer gardens that open up during the summer. These often feature ice-cold beer and Japanese-style barbecue, which you can grill at your leisure at your table. Section 3, Experiencing Japanese Culture. This section is about the unique parts of Japanese culture that I think you should experience. It kind of ties in with the last section, but it's just to give me a chance to kind of expand on a few things so you can fully enjoy all that summer has to offer. And perhaps the most important part of enjoying summer here is eating. So must-try summer dishes include cold soba or somen noodles, kakigori, and grilled unagi, watermelon, barbecue, and beer. So even though summer is hot, Japanese people love to spend time outside, especially eating foods that help to keep you cool. Cold somen and cold soba are some of the best foods to try come summer, especially in something like this. This is nagashi somen, which means flowing somen noodles, and literally involves catching the noodles with chopsticks. Some great places to try them are... The next thing that you will be hard-pressed to not find everywhere and that you should try is kakigori, or Japanese shaved ice. Japan takes shaved ice to the next level, and a lot of shops here offer really unique and creative flavors. I highly recommend finding unique cafes that serve kakigori wherever you are. Another summer dish I love is unagi, or grilled eel. There's actually an unagi day, but this year there are 2 unagi days on July 24th and August 5th. These days fall on the Day of the Ox, which likely started during the Edo period when a doctor said that people should eat more eels for good stamina, in order to help out the business of a suffering eel shop that he liked. Next up is watermelon, which you will find at most Japanese festivals. It's claimed that since watermelons are filled with lots of water and nutrients that protect against fatigue, watermelon is the perfect summer snack. Finally, I previously mentioned barbecue and beer. Japanese people like to be outside during summer, as I said, but especially in the evening when it's cooler. It's a perfect time to relax with some meat and some cold beer. Section 4, Overcoming Challenges of Summer. All right, you might have learned a lot about Japan in summer so far, but I'm here to tell you now how to actually survive it. First, like I said earlier, pack the right clothes. Breathable fabrics like linen and cotton are great. Since it can be rainy, I recommend bringing shoes that can get wet. I really like sandals because they typically dry way faster than my sneakers, but it's a personal choice, especially since you want to stay comfortable when walking around. Next, try Japanese cooling sprays. I love these. Put these on your skin and it feels cool. It's literally magic. I don't know what's in it. I don't need to know, but it's great. On the same note of putting things on your skin, definitely wear sunscreen, particularly if you are as low in melanin as I am. UV clothes and hats are also popular. And sun umbrellas. Japanese ladies love sun umbrellas. And before you laugh, it really works. It's like a little cloud of shade that follows you around everywhere. Honestly, it saved my behind last summer, so I recommend it. Plan to do some things inside, either because of rain or just getting tired of walking in the heat all day. It's a good idea to think about some air-conditioned activities as well. Drink water and drink electrolytes. Pocari Sweat and Aquarius are both good. And yes, I know Pocari Sweat has the most unappealing name ever. It's actually really good. And if you get sweaty, it's good to have a little cloth to carry around. You'll need one anyway to dry your hands in public bathrooms, which often don't have paper towels or hand dryers. And finally, try those cooling foods I recommended earlier, especially shaved ice. I feel like the shaved ice sits in my stomach for a while and it really just gives off ice, and I stay cool for a longer period of time. A trip to Japan in the summer has a lot to offer, from the spectacular natural beauty and cultural festivals to the unique culinary experiences. And as much as I hate hot weather, Japan really comes alive during the summer months, and running around frozen chocolate banana in hand in my yukata with my friends is super special. And I really hope it can be super special for you as well. So share what you'd like to do in Japan this summer in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.